Heyo, my Planet Coaster friends, Johnny5 Alive here, and today we're going to be going over my plans for Planet Coaster 2, the content you guys can expect in the coming weeks and future and beyond, and that sort of thing. So, yesterday I uploaded my first impressions, my first look. We played through the first level of the campaign, which was Keys to the Coaster. That was fun, and I think I definitely want to continue on with that because it helps me learn the controls, it helps me learn the basics, it helps me get familiar with all of the new stuff. So I definitely like the idea of doing a let's play, and then as we start getting better at the game, we could jump into sandbox and do a little bit more intricate stuff. So just an FYI about my current situation and what you can expect in the coming days. As of today, it's Wednesday. The game just came out. I'm recording this video ahead of time. Saturday, I have a Warhammer 40K like 2v2 tournament that I'm going to. It's a mentors and newbie tournament, so I'm pretty new to Warhammer. I'm newbie and I'm getting paired with a mentor, and we're going to be going up against another newbie and mentor playing all day Saturday. So with that being said, I want to continue painting and finishing up my last remaining units, or get them as close to being finished as possible so I can show up to the tournament with a almost painted army. I'm going to probably be painting and not playing Planet Coaster, as well as preparing anything that I need to bring to the tournament, getting myself ready, and that sort of thing. So I'm definitely busy. It's a little bit of an unfortunate timing, but it is what it is. But then Saturday, Sunday, we have the last two Planet Coaster 1 contest parks, Zap as well as Fayum, to release. So those will be coming out Saturday and Sunday. So we definitely have the rest of the week lined up in terms of content. So that is just a quick TLDR of what's going on here. I want to continue playing the campaign. We're going to go through this and see what's going on. We'll probably jump in and check out franchise mode as well at some point. And then we're going to play some sandbox and build some shops and upload some stuff to our workshop and get going. So speaking of workshops, everybody, I want to see your creations. Since I'm gone for the entire weekend, I'm not going to be able to play Planet Coaster. By the time I get back to playing Planet Coaster Sunday and Monday, everybody in this community is going to be far more experienced than I am. So going into next week, I want to see your creations. I think it's a great opportunity to look at the early on creations for Planet Coaster and see what you guys have created for this wonderful workshop. There's already a ton of stuff here. We're overloading the workshop apparently, and it's absolutely crazy. So you can see some amazing builds here. Everybody's getting to it, and I could just feature this stuff if I wanted to take a look at some of this stuff, but I prefer the community sending in their stuff, requesting me to check out their stuff. That's what we're going to show you how to do here today. So let's get into it. So this is the new Planet Coaster 2 submission form. I'll have a link to it in the description. This is what I see on my end in terms of editing it, because there's a bunch of different variables. This form is a lot more detailed and complicated than the Planet Coaster 1 submission form. That still exists. So if you that old form's already found on Discord, you can find it in the links of all my Planet Coaster 1 videos. If you still want to submit something for Planet Coaster 1, you would use the old form, and that goes to a different responses page where I can check out specifically only Planet Coaster 1. I took my learnings from Planet Coaster 1 into this Planet Coaster 2, and that way I could add a lot more nuances to the decisions and choices that you make so that it'll better help me make better content for the channel going forward. So one thing that you'll already see that's new is the blueprint spotlights. That's something we didn't do for Planet Coaster. We did do blueprint spotlights at one point for Planet Coaster 1, but we would do it on demand. So we'd ask people, hey, this week we're doing sci-fi, submit your stuff. We'd have a form, fill it out, and then I would just do that. Now going forward, because there's so many new tools in Planet Coaster, I think it'd be fun to do episodes that are just, we're doing shops today, we're doing facilities, we're doing animatronics, we're doing custom trains, coaster stations, scenery, you name it. I want to do a video on it. So I think it's good to just start collecting these blueprints so that we can come up with uniquely themed categories and unique themed episodes, and possibly even do kind of like a thematic week. So these new options are going to help me filter and sift through themes and categories. So when you come in here, you're going to choose between park, coaster, ride. That is all standard. That is the same as before. And then there's the new one, blueprints. At some point in the form, it'll ask you what your theme is. And right now we just have the ones that are in game: aquatic, tropicals, resort, mythology, Viking, planet coaster, as well as custom and other, in case you, I don't know, decided to create like an Asian theme using tons of little pieces and you found a way to make it work yourself, or you've managed to find out how to make steampunk with the current themes. People will get creative and do non-native planet coaster themed themes, and I wanted them to be able to, you know, submit that as an option. This list will grow as new themes are added to the game, as we get DLC and expansions and that sort of thing. So if you do choose custom theme, we're just going to ask you an extra bonus question: what is that theme? And you can type it in there. If enough people submit steampunk, I'll start to see that custom steampunk thing come up, and I can filter by that. So very cool there. Blueprint selection. So this is how I have it set up so far. If you have any suggestions, put them down in the comments below. If I forgot anything, just let me know. DM me, comments below, that sort of thing. But so far I have flume, water slides, and pools. That's all kind of one category. We have the flat rides. Now you have the new gizmos that you can attach pieces to flat rides and kind of do a flat ride skin with animated parts. So I feel like flat ride spotlights is going to be really, really cool. And I'm really excited to do flat rides in Planet Coaster 2. Our standard shops, scenery pieces, coaster stations, and custom coaster trains. This is similar to that of the flat ride, how the custom coasters now have gizmos where you can basically theme a coaster train. So the way this will probably work is you're going to just send me your coaster station, right? You'll have like a train. It has like a one track segment sticking out the end, and that's it. And then the train is decorated, and you've turned a train into a dragon, a serpent. So I like this idea of custom trains, and all of these things will probably become contests in the foreseeable future as well. Basic shape art, you know, people like doing like drawings and murals and paintings and all sorts of cool things like signs. So basic shape art, basic shape characters, recreating all the characters in the game with basic shapes. I'd love to see them, so we could do a whole thematic episode on those. And then the custom animatronics. I feel like this is going to be massive. I've already seen people messing around with these. You can, you know, basically have to build your own animatronics in this game now. Rotating gizmos. I already saw Chant build something with like blinking eyes on a character. It's really cool. So I feel like this is going to be a whole world of spotlights and contests in the future. And then Chant mentioned something about snap kits. Basically, you can put like magnets on blueprints. So if you did like more than 4,000 pieces, you have two 4,000 piece blueprints. You can set snapping points to them and you can snap them together. I haven't played around with this myself, but I trust that she knows what she's talking about. So there's other ways you can use the snap kit. So maybe you made a transformer and you want to like have interchangeable heads. You can snap on a different head. You can snap on a different arm. There's different pieces to a snap kit, and they can snap together in multiple different ways, and you can kit bash and make cool things out of it. So I suspect snap kits will be a thing of the future as well, and something we could do creatively as a contest. And I can see like how many things I can build out of somebody's snap kit. That could be a fun episode for the future as well. So that is a look at the blueprint selection. File type, this will ask you at some point, depending, like if you're submitting a park, it won't ask you because it's always going to be a file, but it's just a park file, which is a map you load into, and then a blueprint, which is a placeable blueprint that I download and place into the game. It's pretty straightforward. This is just to differentiate, you know, like a Gaussian style coaster, which he makes an entire map dedicated to one coaster. So when I go looking for coaster spotlights and it says park file, I know it's a massive exploration coaster because it's a coaster on a park file. Or maybe you did something super realism and you have like a gate, a plaza, a pool, and you have some scenery and you want all of that included and you can't fit it in a blueprint, then you would select park file. But all parks will be park files, so you don't have this option. And yeah, and that sort of thing. Same with rides. If it's like a big dark ride and it's thousands and thousands of pieces and it's got a big indoor facility, all that sort of thing, it'd probably be a park file. Blueprints are basically anything which is a placeable 4K blueprint, which is placeable. I think the limit might be 6K, somebody said. I don't really know. I haven't tested this myself. I can update this as we go. So coaster categories, I was actually originally listing all of the coasters in the game and it was overwhelming. It's too much. There's like 40, 50 coasters in this game. It's just absurd. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to break it up by like general categories. So when you submit, you could do like a standard chain lift coaster, a looping coaster, like a corkscrew, a giga coaster, like I did a 300 foot plus 400 foot strata. It's a gigantic coaster. It's a giga coaster strata coaster. It's something super impressive. So if I see this, it's like, oh, okay, that's probably one that's going to need it's going to be a long track. It's going to be a huge coaster, probably something that is worth like a 10, 15, 20-minute spotlight all in itself, where some of the other ones can get bundled together. And this is most important. This whole selection process is important for coaster spotlight bundles because I'll probably bring them back in the future. As I said, I can now filter things by like category. So I can actually filter all by the wooden coasters, and I can make a whole episode where we check out 3 to 5 different wooden coasters all in one video, and I can just go in, filter by wooden, done. I think this will be a lot more cool because for the spotlight, it's a thematic episode. That is the purpose of this. So I try to break it down into the smartest categories possible. Single rail is on its own. It's not just a part of like standard. It's not like, I specifically like the way single rails look, so I'd like to be able to dig that up. Same with mine trains, swinging mine trains, launch coasters. There's like 10 different launch coasters in this game. Just classify them all as launch coasters. I know what you mean when you've created a launch coaster. Yes, you can launch them in different ways with drive tires, reverse launches, that sort of thing. But for the most part, it is a launch coaster, and I think it's fine. Junior coasters are a little bit more specific. They're fun, family friendly, and I want to see those on their own as well. We have some alternate lift options in this game: Limitless, Star Loop, Hyperloop. They all do like kind of different sort of lifts and launches. So I have a category for that. Suspended is what you expect: 2-seater, 4-seater, flying, momentum, that sort of thing. A boomerang, you know, it's not a closed circuit. It's open-ended on either end, so pretty self-explanatory there. But it could also be like the giant inverted boomerangs. That could also count. So anything that's not a closed circuit would be a boomerang. We have our wooden wild mouse, wooden hybrid, steel top RMCs, winged. In this game, they called it the dive coasters drop coasters now. So we'll do drop dive, and all the water coasters. There's like 4 or 5 water coasters in Planet Coaster 2, which is awesome. So it's your antique splash, splash down, and that sort of thing. And then we have the rotating coasters, which I haven't seen yet, but sounds cool. And they are different from that of the spinning coasters. And finally, our X Dimension 4D coasters. So a lot of categories for you to choose from, but this is going to help me because if I want to do a boomerang coaster spotlight episode, I can just filter by boomerang and go, oh, look, we have 3 or 4 submissions that are boomerangs. Let's grab them all and feature them all here today. And as more and more submissions come in, I'm going to want to be a little bit more specific about the theme of today's episode. And this is really going to make the channel a lot more interesting going forward. Same thing for your rides. So these are your antique power cars. I just listed every ride in the game: cable car, family train, ghost train, hoax, you know, go-karts, monorail. Yeah, transport rides are a little bit weird, but somebody might do something creative with it, so you never know. So I figured I'd include it all here. You got your river rapids, single-decker buses, all that sort of stuff, steamboats, you name it. It's all in there. I just listed them all because there's like a dozen. And these lists will grow as the updates come out and new DLC, so you can expect all these to grow over time. Finalization, I want a little bit more information about you guys. Basically, you know, your standard stuff, your Discord name, the name of your creation, because some people just upload their creation as test 2, and I'm like, what do I name this? And it's a spotlight. So now it's just, we're reaffirming the name of your creation this time around. Let us know about your creation. And this is where things get different because we're now on the Frontier Workshop, right? We need a link or code. So I have an example here. Chant quickly made something. The site's a little laggy right now. Everybody's uploading something. So these are just some random eyes she's working on. They're animated. They blink and stuff. It's not complete, but I just asked her to send it to me for a purpose of this example here today. From here, I can navigate to Chant's workshop because she sent me a link to her creation, and I can see what's on her workshop. What you'll notice here is not only does the URL at the top work, so you can now copy paste the URL, and when you submit it, you can paste it into your description or your answer, but you can also copy this share code. So if you're on a console and you don't have access to, you know, the internet for some reason, and you don't know how to find your Frontier Workshop page or log in, but you're in the game and you can see your code, well, that's good enough. You can send me this code and I can just hit search on the search page, type in the code. Now, that's a little bit more annoying for me because if, you know, you submit me something and I want to look at your creation, well, I can't look at a code, so I gotta go look it up now. it's an extra step or two for me, and I have to wait for it to load and all that. So if you could provide a link, I'd prefer that, but I definitely recommend you provide both. So you put your link, and then underneath your link, you put your code. In the past, many people would send me links to their Facebook page or links to their whatever. I would get the most absurd random links because they didn't copy paste properly, and it was the last thing they had copied. So always check your links. And I think having a link and a code, if the link is broken for some reason and you didn't copy paste it right, at least we have the code. So now I have two options to make sure your submission was right. In the past, you know, I don't know who submitted this. I don't know how to track them down. The link is broken. They didn't take the time to double check if it works. So I just delete it from the inbox, right? And that's fair because, you know, if you're not going to double check your own work, then it's probably not worth it for me to spend an hour trying to track you down. With that being said, people would ask me, they would submit things multiple times in the past. Now this form will send you a copy of your response. So you will know if you submitted it properly. It'll tell you all the questions. You can see if the link was broken and that sort of thing. So you'll know if the submission went through because you'll get an email alert that it went through. So you don't have to spam me like we did with the old form. Custom media links, it's kind of not a thing in Planet Coaster right now. So I guess I could just delete that or hide that. I thought, yeah, I mean, it's there as a placeholder. It's not required, but they will be adding custom media in the future. So before we would just tell people to put it in the description, it's better to have a second column for it so that I know where I can look for it. Is it on the Steam page? Is it in their description? Where did they put it? Boom, it's going to be here. And if it's not there, I'm going to assume you don't have any. So that's good for going forward. This time around, I want to promote you guys. So if you are a content creator, a YouTuber, Twitch, Instagram, that sort of thing, I want you to put your social media links in so that I could give a shout out to you. And then also in the description of the video, I could put direct links to your social media. So if you are a small growing content creator, a big content creator, whatever, we can kind of shout you out. You could select your Discord rank. The way it worked before, it would pull the data from a different form. And that was great, but if the data in the back end wasn't updated, then it would pull the wrong rank. And let's just say you submitted something when you were a builder, and then you went up to Grandmaster, it would pull that from a different form if it was updated, and now it would be like, oh, this was submitted by a Grandmaster, but it was made in 2024, and it's 2026 now. At the time, they were actually a builder. The reason I want this here is so we know your rank at the time of your submission. So if a year goes by, a few months goes by, and you've advanced in the ranks, we can feature a creation that you made when you were new to the game. And I know that because it says it here. You selected builder because you were a builder at the time of that submission. It also just helps speed things up for me. I can be like, oh, if the data isn't pulling properly, if it didn't update properly, or you know, whatever, I could just see, okay, they're an expert. But if something looks off to me and you're brand new to this game, you're like, I'm a Titan. I could be like, no, this name doesn't look familiar to me. Let me look them up in Discord. If I can't find your name on Discord, I'm gonna make you a non-ranked builder, an unranked builder. But this is for the purpose of the new ranking system. So I'll answer honestly. If I don't think you're answering honestly, I will go look it up. So, you know, just do us all a favor and answer it honestly, and it'll be great for everyone. And lastly, we have a little bit thing going over Patreon. And if you're a Patreon, you can say that you are a Patreon, and you can say your rank, and that way you can get your priority fast pass spotlight. When I go into the submission form, I will be filtering by the Patreon rank and looking at them all first and considering them first for spotlight. And it will ask you what your Patreon name is, your official Patreon name, so that you can't just say that you're a Ruby patron when you're actually not, because it'll cross verify. So if you're not, you just hit no, and then you submit the form and you're done. So there are more options, there are more choices, as you can see here, but it's much more in depth because it's going to help with the thematics of the spotlights going forward. It really helps me discern, like maybe I want to do a whole aquatic week, and we do aquatic coasters, we do aquatic theme parks, we do aquatic blueprints. I'm able to do that now, and as the themes grow, I'll be able to filter more and more and more. Whereas that the old submission form, it was just a little bit of chaos. It was just park, coaster, ride, done, name, enter. And I wasn't able to filter as nicely. So I wanted to make sure I had that all in place properly going forward. So links to this submission form are down in the description below. It is live. You can click it. You can start submitting your Frontier workshop creations now. And hopefully after my Warhammer tournament this weekend, I come back Sunday, Monday. Maybe you guys have some cool blueprints for me to look at. We'll do like a little blueprint spotlight, maybe look at some shops, look at some animatronics. I'll see how much we have. If there's a lot of shops, we'll do a shops episode. If there's a lot of animatronics, we'll do an animatronics episode. If there's some coasters, we'll do a coaster spotlight. And then I can get some spotlights going, get some content going, and then we can dive back in to our Let's Play and play through that campaign, and I can start to get my teeth sunk into this game. But I want to get some content going, so definitely want to see what you guys are building, help me get inspiration, help me see what everybody's doing, and then I can use that inspiration to get going on my own creations going forward. So there it is, everybody. That is how you're going to submit for Planet Coaster 2. That is my plans going forward. And I guess to kind of seal the deal, we'll definitely be looking at doing a contest in the next couple weeks. Something simple, maybe an animatronic contest, maybe a shop contest. I think it would be great to do a Discord poll to see what people are interested in, but I want it to be like a small 1 to 2 week contest. Nothing crazy, just you have 1 or 2 weeks to make a shop, that sort of thing. You know, it's a blueprint, send it in, we get a list, we showcase it over a couple episodes, and then we give people an opportunity to build up their workshops. You know, I want to definitely do something small like that. So for the meantime though, I just want to see what you guys are building, so send it on in. Other than that, we're going to stick to playing the campaign for now, and then eventually when I feel comfortable, I think I'm going to dive into sandbox mode, make a few shops myself, and maybe get building a coaster or something. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to do it for today's video. Be sure to not forget about Planet Coaster 1. We have an ongoing contest right now. I need you guys to go watch the Fayum and Zap parks. They're absolutely incredible. The best parks I've ever seen in my life. So be sure to watch those Saturday and Sunday, and be sure to vote on your favorite parks so we can have a decisive top 4 winners for this contest. We can wrap up our Planet Coaster 1 final contest and move forward there. And I guess with that being said, last but not least, I'll probably sprinkle in some Planet Coaster 1 park spotlights over the coming weeks as well. So don't forget about that. We have some Patreon submissions in there, and we got Patreon updates coming. So all of that stuff is going to be taken care of in the coming weeks as well. There it is. It's a lot. And right now I got to worry about my Warhammer tournament. So wish me luck, and I will see you guys soon. Bye now.